on the balance beam. It has come down to this moment. So it's all about the beam. I am convinced that at the end of this competition, whoever does the best on the balance beam can find those stuck landings, can have a strong leadoff routine, are going to be the ones that are going to be successful. Florida starting off on the balance beam for the draw in the final, and they will be led off by Sloane Blakely, who did quite a phenomenal job in the semifinal to get them here. That leadoff position, so important. Florida had some struggles in the semifinal. In fact, this is one of my things to watch for. Florida on balance beam left a lot of tenths on the table in the semifinal, and it caused the lineup change. At the very last minute, as I'm sitting down, I see that there was a lineup change. Peyton Richards, who fell on balance beam in the semifinal, is being replaced by Victoria Nguyen in that last spot. Sloane Blakely is getting Florida's championship drive off. Nice front aerial back handspring, good connection. Judges looking for that. No breaks in between those skills. They need to be connected flawlessly. Switch leap, half and a beat jump. Again, great connection, and she got that 180-degree position. Every gymnast will do that required full turn, and I think Sloane Blakely looks so confident right now. She is just nice and cool, calm, working her way through this routine. Just the dismount, stuck landing. That is how you start off a championship drive, on the balance beam, and Sloane having a good time staying loose. In conversations with the coaches, they really hone in on that stat that if you can stick 4 out of the 6 landings in an event, they feel like they're giving their team a chance to be successful, not giving away unnecessary tenths. And these teams, this is it. This is the last competition for them. They're going to leave it all out on the floor. And you see the energy from Florida already, really cheering their team on and just trying to have fun out there. Because if you're not having fun, then what's the point? And Florida embodies that. They go out there and support one another and do a good job. Ellie Lazzari is in that second spot, getting last words from head coach Jenny Rowland. While we wait for Sloane Blakely's score to come in and the judges to give her the go-ahead. Again, in the postseason format, same as semifinals, those big scores are a lot more difficult to come by because of the fact that it's a 6-judge panel. So to get the big score, they drop the high, they drop the low, and they average the remaining score. So to get a 10, every single judge has to agree. At least 4, or excuse me, at least 5. Essentially have to say that was perfect. Ellie Lazzari getting ready to mount the beam. Judges have given her the okay that it's time to go. Ooh, already right there in the beginning. Just simple stuff like that, getting up on the beam. That right foot almost slipped off. Wow. Does a good job of covering that up and keeping it moving. And Sloane Blakely, again, 9-9. Back handspring, layout again. You could just see those nerves. That skill was off from the very beginning. She looked like she was maybe trying to control that too much and didn't really get rotation and open the hips. And unfortunately, that's going to add some pressure. Good combination there, though. Good position. Switch leap, split jump. Front aerial, does a good job bringing that all the way up. Again, 6 athletes go, only the top 5 scores will count. So Florida's still doing okay. Puts a little bit of pressure on the remaining 4 athletes that have to go with a fall, but they can do it. Gainer full dismount, doesn't give anything else away. 2 stuck dismounts. Although that routine had a fall, that's going to be the score they're going to want to drop for sure. I mean, look at her teammates. They know that she's not probably happy with that contribution on the balance beam, but look, hey, you got to have a mind like a goldfish. You got to forget and move on. Kayla DiCello is next. Season high for her, 9.975. This is an athlete that has tons of international experience, tons of experience throughout this year, just adjusting to college gymnastics, and has been on fire. So look for her to settle in and keep this going. Coach Rowland always talks about this beam team being very confident and comfortable in the positions, and we saw it right at the top, a change in the lineup. That's what this team environment is all about, just stepping up when you're called upon. Very, very important routine for Kayla DiCello. Now would be a time to show those nerves of steel. Balance beam only 4 inches wide. And this is the ultimate pressure situation. You know, beam is an event that is so difficult to start on. A lot of teams would rather start on beam because you just get it out of the way. It's so nerve-wracking. So again, judges taking a little bit of time with Ellie Lazzari's score, and it's in just a 9.0125. So again, that will be the score, hopefully, that this Florida Gator team will be able to drop. Good execution there. The backflip onto the beam. Shows off that position. Does the wolf turn right here in the beginning. Beautiful. Double turn. Those give athletes, that skill give athletes the roughest time. But she's nice and square, centered on the balance beam, no problem. Switch leap. Split jump. Very good. Kayla really just calm, working her way through this routine, knowing how important this is for this team. Back handspring layout, beautiful. Nice and solid. Good execution on that front aerial. And again, stuck landing, so important. Gainer full off the side, stick number 3. Honing in on those landings, so important. That is exactly the routine that Florida needed from Kayla DiCello in that spot after a fall, proving that she's ready. They're practiced. She went up there and was nice, cool, calm, and collected. Her teammates can breathe a little bit easier now. That's 3 down, 3 more to go, and these last 3 routines, you kind of feel like they need to be hits. Leanne Wong is the next athlete up in this Florida beam lineup. Yeah, that semifinal performance from LSU, just looking back at it, so uncharacteristic. Leanne Wong, an athlete that can be perfect on this event. She can score a 10. That is actually her season high. So now would be a perfect time to bust out one of those perfect 10 routines. Dot all the I's, cross all the T's, and keep this lineup going strong for balance beam. Leanne, of course, has lots of international experience and has really just been so instrumental in the success of this Florida team. She contributes big because every single event, especially balance beam, she can score huge. So lifted in that leap pass, switch leap into a split leap. That handspring layout. Leanne looking very comfortable. There's that front aerial beat jump. Slightly off after that, but just extends through. Leanne, one of those athletes too, so lifted on this event. Technique is flawless, double twist, very difficult. Going after that stick. It wasn't controlled. She didn't move, but she kind of did the college salute afterwards, so the judges may take a little bit on that. And let's go back to the scores. Great, Kayla DiCello did her job. She went 9.9. And Leanne Wong's score, I'm assuming, is going to be higher than the 9.0125 from Ellie Lazzari. And that second spot, of course, she fell. So 2 more routines to go in this Florida beam in the opening rotation of the national championship. So much on the line for these athletes, man. This is what they work for. Riley McCusker will be up next. Of course, Riley in the semifinals, she did not fall, but it just wasn't a clean routine. She really showed nerves, and you could see it from the beginning of the routine. So hopefully she's getting those last-minute words of encouragement from Jenny Rowland. She's got a smile on her face, take a deep breath, get the green flag, and you got to leave it all out there on the floor. You know, that beam on the podium is another thing we always talk about with the equipment. Sometimes it can feel a little bit more bouncy, which could be good on the body, just a little bit more give. Of course, the balance beam is only 4 inches wide, but these athletes, they're all competing on the same equipment. They all get the same opportunity, and they've adjusted to it. They had an opportunity to practice on Wednesday, then the semifinal on Thursday. So in the final, they should be good to go, and Riley McCusker will get going. Leanne Wong score in 9.9125. So Florida looking good, not leaving those tents like they did in the semifinal. Beautiful wolf turn. Riley already looks to be getting off to a more solid start. She looks a lot more calm versus the semifinal where there was a little bit of nerves. And I've got Bridget Sloan joining me from bars to call the remaining beam lineup. Your team, Florida, everybody's team, Florida, is looking really good.
This is the team that I picked.
Great. Again, those nerves for Riley McCusker seem to be gone. Nothing like what we saw from her before. Sloan Blakely did a good job again opening them up with a 9.9. Ellie Lazzari in the second spot did fall, but so far they have not gone below a 9.9. Other than that.
And Ashley, we talked about how important the scores were with starting with that 9.9, and this is just proof.
That's right. That's one of the keys. Just the dismount, stuck. Wow. So that's 5 stuck landings. Even though Ellie Lazzari did fall, so we're going to want to drop that score, that's 5 stuck landings. So they've already hit that magic 4 stuck landings, 4 out of the 6.
That is the magic number here today.
Yeah, Bridget, we talk a lot about beam being so crucial in the championships, right? It's it's decided the last 2 champions for the last 2 years. It's come down to the balance beam routine. But these teams are so competitive, and there's so much parity. They're all so good. They all have good beam teams. What is that what we were talking about? What's the phrase? What was it?
Well, beam used to be the make or break event. In my opinion, it is one of the most difficult events. Don't get me wrong, but really bars is the new make or break event because, man, they have to be perfect on that event. But balance beam is without a doubt the most mentally challenging. You have to really dial in, and especially on podium, you're used to your team being a lot closer, and you really feel that energy. You see her teammates over there trying to keep her calm, cool, and collected.
They know how important this routine is for Victoria. And again, this is a change in the lineup. Yesterday, Peyton Richards went in. She did have a fall in that 6 spots. They pulled her out, put Victoria Wynn in. They're not going to have the Trinity Thomas score. We know every time she touches the equipment, she has the ability to be perfect. But Victoria Wynn, same. She's beautiful in this event.
Absolutely. And Victoria Wynn went in on vault yesterday, or on semifinals. She also was in that anchor spot. So this is a spot that she might not be the most comfortable, but she knows she can do it. And that is, in my opinion, the most important part, is these athletes going up on the apparatus knowing that they can do it.
And these are the moments in these championship situations that really matter. Riley McCusker, oh my goodness, 9.9. 3.75, so no score from a hit routine below a 9.9. That's huge for Florida.
Starts things off, acro series coming up.
Anodi in combination with the back handspring. Beautiful. Great connection, no breaks there. That was great. Does an inward full turn. Very unique. Switch leap, split leap. I like the height that she gets on that. She really rises in that second split. It's very fluid movements.
Dismount.
And we're off. 1.5, just a slight hop to the right. A stick would have been the icing, but wow, Florida killed that beam route.
You know,
a fall in the second, and then to have every athlete come back, ice in their veins.
They can have a mistake. You're going to see 6 athletes compete, 5 scores count, but to get it back that tight and to get that energy back, that is so difficult. So kudos to Florida. Outstanding performance on this first rotation.
Yep, we'll wait for Victoria Wynn's score to come in. I'm assuming it's going to be a good one. They're going to be able to drop that low 9.0125 from Ellie Lazzari. And they'll be happy with that start on the balance beam. Very, very difficult place to start in the postseason, in the finals with so much on the line. But Florida's showing that they've worked hard for this moment. And they're going to continue to fight through everything. Welcome back to the second rotation here at the NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championship here on Balance Beam. I'm Ashley Miles Grieg, bringing you every single routine from every single athlete here in rotation 2. We're going to get to see LSU on the balance beam. Huge opportunity for them to improve upon their score from the semifinal. This is definitely an area where they can make up some ground. They're currently, big picture, sitting in 4th place after the first rotation. In the semifinal, they really did a good job. All their routines, they stayed on. They didn't have any falls, but just slight things here and there, and maybe some things from the judges that they took a couple tenths on here and there. First 2 athletes, Elena Arenas and Alona Shinikova, who we'll see second, only were in that 9-7 range. Elena will go again in the leadoff spot for LSU to get their beam rotation going. Of course, 6 athletes compete on each event, and they do have a little bit of room. Only the top 5 scores count. Oh, already a mistake. Switch leap, and she had a bobble in between, so she did not connect the first leap to the second. So she actually, to make up for that, to make sure she got the combination, she added an extra split jump. Very smart and quick thinking on her part to do that. She nailed her back handspring layout flight series, no problem. Front flip, very, very good. A lot of times, these postseason meets, especially in a final where there's so much at stake, those nerves can really get to you, and a lot of times it's apparent in the beginning of the routine, but Elena doing a good job recovering, settling down, and continuing on. Switch leap half, I do not think that she got that 180-degree position on that, so the judges are definitely going to take a bit. Just the dismount, 1.5, stuck landing. Always talk about how important those are. The landings is something that the last thing the judges see. You can control those. Landings, you're going to do a lot better in terms of scoring. Magic number for the coaches whenever you ask them about the little things, the nuts and bolts of what it takes to have a shot to win in this environment, to win a team title. They say landings on the balance beam for sure, and the magic number is 4. They feel like if they can have 4 stuck landings in a rotation, that gives them a pretty good chance of having a big score. Alona Shinikova has looked so good in this postseason. Traditionally an athlete that can be kind of up and down in terms of her consistency, but she has really come on strong. She performed beautifully yesterday. I watched her warm up, and she's definitely on. LSU assistant coach Ashley Natt just keeping her loose, having conversations, talking about what's about to happen. Done a great job with this beam team. LSU went just 49.275 in the semifinal. So what would be so helpful is they can break into that 9-9 range. Again, that's one of the keys that we've talked about in this championship is the leadoff position. If you can get an athlete in the leadoff position that scores a 9-9, traditionally you want the scores to build as the athletes go through the lineup. If you start with a 9-9, that then puts the pressure on the judges if everybody hits to have a big score. Waiting for Elena Arenas' score to come in. Yep, just a 9.475 from Elena. So really important routines coming up for the remainder of this LSU lineup. Definitely going to be a score they're going to want to drop. She She gets her full turn out of the way right in the beginning of the routine. These athletes and coaches put so much effort into the composition of these routines. Triple flight series, front aerial, back handspring, and she was a bit off on that, but she made that micro correction. Her hips were not square, but she was able to pull that back on. Switch lead, split jump. Again, I don't think, looking a little cautious, a little tight. Wasn't able to get the whole 180-degree split, and she definitely can because she's flexible enough, for sure. But just nails the side aerial, seems to be moving a little bit faster, and that confidence is building for sure throughout this routine for Ilona. See if she can get the landing. So important, and she does. Big reaction from her. She knows that was big. They need every 10th they can get currently going into this rotation in 4th place. Now is not the time to leave anything on the table. Go big and leave it all out there on the floor. So again, that 9.475 from Elena Arenas in the leadoff spot. Definitely not the leadoff routine that she's capable of doing or what they needed. But Ilona getting them right back on track in that 2nd spot. And on deck is Alexis Jeffrey. Warmed up really well. She's one of those athletes, too, that does that wolf turn on the balance beam, a very low position. You've got to be spot on. Just even the slightest bit off on those wolf turns can cause problems. Beam so crucial to the success of these teams in this championship final. You always wonder sometimes what's going through their head. Guarantee is she's just doing her key words, key thoughts last minute. Take a deep breath and off to the races. Here's that wolf turn right in the beginning. Just a single. Does a good job of keeping that right on point. Cat leap, switch side. Good landing, lands sideways on the balance beam. So again, very crucial to be right on. Acro series back handspring layout. Moving through this very nicely. Execution is very good. Standing front tuck. Wow, that was amazing. So difficult to do that skill with no lead up, just standing. Tons of leg strength. 1.5. Couldn't find the landing, just a slight hop forward. Again, those landings so crucial. This is the competition where you want to get sticky feet. You want to stick and set your teammate up to be able to do the next thing after. Sierra Ballard is next in the lineup for LSU in this beam rotation. Ballard went 9.8125 in the semi. So again, Ilona Shinikova's score in a 9.8125. So she improved significantly over her score that was in that 9.7 range. So every single 10th counts. They still are going to be looking to drop that 9.475 from Elena Arenas in the opening spot. again, we always talk about on every event, but especially beam, how important that leadoff spot is. Just because if you can take even a little bit of pressure off any athlete, regardless of what spot, it does wonders just for their psyche, for their confidence. Sierra really relaxed here. Again, I always like to watch just that last interaction. Some athletes like to have the conversations with the coaches. Some athletes are just, you know what, I'm good, I'm up here, I'm in the zone. I don't need any last minute words. But Ashley Natt, assistant coach and in charge of the balance beam, they've got their groove, they know what works. This is all about what team can put it all together when it matters. That's what comes down to with winning championships, for sure. Score in for Alexis Jeffrey, 9.825. So not in that 9-9 range yet, but scores are rising. Good backhand spring layout. I love the way Sierra Ballard works beam. She's definitely a more aggressive beam worker, a little bit more quick in connecting her skills and moving from one skill to the next. Splits a zone. Switch leap half, good connection, and I'd say she got a good position in that leap. Definitely want to see that 180-degree position. Good on the front toss as well. So again, looking to drop that 9.475 in the leadoff spot. Sierra Ballard, again, landing so important. Ground off 1.5 and a step forward. So those little things are going to add up, and that's what is keeping this LSU team so far from venturing into that 9.9 range. But of course, we've got Haley Bryant in that 5th spot on deck and Aaliyah Finnegan coming up after her, who are both spectacular all around. You know, LSU has had a lot of struggles this year, a lot of injuries, but they're still here. They fought through that, they battled through that. You know, at one point, we weren't sure if they would have enough bodies to even be here, but they did, they powered through. And in this situation, these are the two athletes that they want. Haley Bryant, another 10.0 queen. This is actually the only event that she hasn't scored a 10 on in her career. Her season high 9.95, ranked 6th nationally on this event. She'll get underway here shortly as soon as the judges tell her it is time to go. They wait for that green flag. You know, Haley, no stranger to being in this situation. As a senior, knows what her team needs. And the score for Sierra Ballard is in 9.825. So she matches what Alexis Jeffries got before her, and looking good to drop that 9.475. We can get 2 more hit routines from LSU. Haley Bryant so good on this event. Very steady, front aerial, back handspring in combination. Again, that's one of the things the judges look for, that flow, no breaks, connecting one skill to another one. Switch leap, straddle half. Good job. She looks very confident up there, and I've got Bridget Sloan. Let me bring you in. You're joining me on the beam stream. Bridget in the middle of Haley Bryant's routine, and so far, so good for this LSU beam lineup. They haven't broken into those big scores, but Haley definitely has the ability to. Standing front, slight bobble.
A slight bobble, and right now, Ashley, I can tell you, it is going to be tight. Coming into the fourth rotation, LSU, they didn't have the strongest showing on uneven bars. So this is an event where they can really pick it up. They are outstanding on balance beam. Haley Bryant.
Not quite the stick. So LSU so far only one stuck dismount. So again, we talk about how crucial that is. Elena Arenas, although she did not fall, she'd had lots of errors. She missed a connection and had to kind of go back and cover it up and add a split leap. So again, you know, LSU struggles, right? But the fact that they are here, they have fought through to be here, you know, it allows them to be able to just go out there and just leave it all on the floor.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, or I guess I should say fortunately, the show must go on.
Yep.
No matter what. And they have the ability to drop that score, but when you lead off with a score about around that 9.4, that means that the judges, you got to start clean with that second athlete and really, you know, actually we said it earlier, what do they have to get in that lead off to build those scores?
So yeah, lots of energy here in the arena. These teams know that this is for all the marbles. So they're going to go out there and compete freely and just enjoy themselves, have fun, and try to stay in their own team bubble as well. That's so important. You always hear coaches talk about how they just want to transfer what they do every day into the competition floor and have fun while doing it.
Absolutely. This is when the experience can really kick in of those upperclassmen, even the sophomores, those who have been here before in this position. They know how to hone it. They know how to really just make it this is our event. No matter what, this is our event.
That's right. And so we'll have the score for Haley Bryant in shortly. Their closer, their anchor, so beautiful on this event, is going to be Aaliyah Finnegan. And of course, she's ranked in the top 5 on this event. She scored a perfect 10 this season. Now would be a great time to have that type of performance.
Aaliyah, if you've got that perfect 10 in you, now's the time to bring it out.
Yep.
And she knows she had a great event on bars. Beam, an event that she really shines.
Yes. Yeah, and the score for Haley Bryant in 9.85. So far, nothing in that 9.9 range for LSU. I love that beam dismount. I don't know that I would try something that difficult or how that would even work out for me if I tried it, but she executed it beautifully.
My question is, how do you learn how to do that?
I don't know. I feel like you'd have to have like a face guard or something. Triple flight series, back handspring, layout. Very, very well executed. She's really, really deliberate too with her cue words. It looks like almost like she's talking to herself and giving those those key words out loud.
Those very important mental cues. Nice front aerial. I love the way she finishes each element. Every muscle in her body has a place on the finish, from her fingertips all the way down to her toes.
I love that. And look at her. She's just talking and having the conversation and moving through this beam routine. Just the dismount. And that's a way to anchor a beam lineup. Great job from Aaliyah Finnegan. not the beam rotation LSU would have hoped for in this postseason championship final. But again, they've got to be proud of the effort and that it took them just to get here. They've overcome so much. Make sure you stay tuned because we're going to see if they can break into that 49 range. They should be able to, because with that routine from Aaliyah Finnegan, that 9.475 will be the score. They're going to be able to drop LSU is your team and you don't want to miss any of the action, make sure that you can follow them to their next event, which will be the floor exercise, where John Roethlisberger is on the floor stream, and you can see every routine from the floor lineup they've got prepared. And that's going to conclude the second rotation for LSU on the balance beam. Make sure you come back, join us for rotation 3, where we will see the Oklahoma Sooners trying to repeat, but they have to get through beam if they want to do it. Welcome back to rotation 3 here at the Women's Gymnastics Championship. I'm Ashley Miles-Grigg, bringing you all the action on the balance beam. And here in rotation 3, we have the Oklahoma Sooners, who are working to defend at this halfway point, working to defend the national title. They are currently in that top spot going into the balance beam, which is such a crucial event in the postseason, in the final. The last 2 championships have come down to performances on the balance beam. Oklahoma has given no indication that they're going to be slowing down anytime soon, and they will be led off by Jenna Dunn. She has been so huge for them in this leadoff spot. This team went 49-5-5-0 in the semifinal. They were lights out. The only team that outscored them on this event in the semifinal, we'll see next in the 4th rotation. Oklahoma is dialed in on this event. Of course, they had the uncharacteristic 2 falls in the 1-2 spot that surprised everybody, but they showed that they made those adjustments, and that is a thing of the past. Good start, looks solid, looks confident, and very calm. All great things you want to look for when an athlete in this leadoff spot mounts the beam. Flight series, triple, back handspring layout, slight balance check, but brings it back very nicely. That'll be a minimal deduction. Good position on both of those leaps in that combination, gets the connection, it gets that 180-degree position. There's their required full turn. Oklahoma, let me tell you, on balance beam, they do such a good job of composing these routines and paying attention to the detail. Dismount, stuck landing, gainer full off the side, and I guarantee you, teammates, KJ Kindler there, didn't expect anything less from Jenna Dunn in that leadoff spot. One of the keys we talked about is keys to success. So important to have a strong leadoff performer, and if they can score 9.9 or better, that sets the rest of the team up nicely, because when they build these lineups, generally, you want the scores to build with your anchor being the most consistent and the most high-scoring potential routine. Oklahoma does a great job of doing that. When you can start off with a 9.9, that puts the pressure on the judges then for the following routines coming up. If they can hit, That's when you see those big scores. Olivia Troutman getting ready. Just has to wait for the judges to tell her it's time to go, getting some last-minute words of encouragement from KJ Kindler. She went 9.950 in the semifinal. And Olivia Troutman is what I call, I've deemed her the postseason ninja. That's the name I'm giving her because she has a knack. A lot of times, at the beginning of the season, she may not be available because of injuries, but she battles her way through and comes up in those big moments. And it's just been remarkable to see throughout her career her do that. Of course, just a reminder, 6 athletes go up on each apparatus. The top 5 scores count, so there is a little bit of room there. If somebody has a fall, has a mistake, puts up a low score, there's still 5 other opportunities to get those big scores. Of course, this is all a numbers game. It's all about maximizing the scoring potential. In Oklahoma, one of those teams on every event, but specifically balance beam, they do a great job. Here's Olivia Troutman on the beam. Score in for Jenna Dunn, 9.850. So again, those few balance checks kept her out of that 9-9 range in the leadoff position. Great full turn. That handspring layout. Oh, wow, a little bit off on that. But fought to keep that in check and on the balance beam. Switch late, switch side, good combination there. Front pike again, very uncharacteristic bobbles from Olivia Troutman. So maybe a little bit of nerves, that pressure situation. Oklahoma is a team that does so well in these pressure situations. Just the dismount doesn't give anything away on the 1.5. And she's smiling. She stayed on the equipment. Guarantee you she would have loved to be able to get those bobbles back. We'll see what the judges do with that score. Balance beam, again, so crucial. Cannot overstate how crucial balance beam is. This is one of those nerve events, maybe even more so than the others because of the apparatus itself. It's only 4 inches wide. And the slightest bit off can throw you completely off. So again, in the semifinal, this Oklahoma lineup started off with a 9-9 and just really continued to build each routine. Not so much there. We'll have to wait to see what the score will be for Olivia Troutman. The deeper into the lineup that you start to see those scores, that's leaving opportunity on the table, those tenths, every tenth. These competitions a lot of time come down to 25, 100s, or 1,000th of a tenth. So every detail crucial. Jordan Bowers up next as we just wait for the score for Olivia Troutman to come in. Big opportunity for Jordan here. Again, 6-judge panel. It's hard to come by those big scores because there's 6 judges. They all put in their score. They drop the high, drop the low, average the remaining 4 to get the score. To get a 10, 5 judges have to agree that it was perfect. That's very difficult to do. Jordan Bowers season high, 9.975. She's ranked 7th in the nation on this event. Went 9.825 in the semifinal, so definitely some room for improvement. She can score better than that. Olivia Troutman scored 9.825. Here's Jordan Bowers. I really like the uniqueness of how she mounts the beam. All of that work at the level of the beam. Great full turn. Got really loud in here for this flight series. By handspring layout right as she was about to go. That was a Trinity Thomas vault that I believe was a good one. This crowd erupted right before that. Does a really good job of staying tuned. Good position on the leap pass. Again, these athletes put in so much work to stay focused. They practice that. Sudden eruptions. You really do have to have ice in your veins to compete this sport, especially on being double twist and nails the landing. And while Jordan Bowers was making her way through that remarkable beam routine, just a slight balance check, Trinity Thomas recorded another 10. That makes her 28 10s. And I know we're on the beam, but that is significant. It's not very often that records are made, where history is made. That's a big deal. So congratulations to Florida and Trinity Thomas on a 10. Faith Torres on deck for Oklahoma. She will be up next in that 4th spot. Jenna Dunn started them off with a 9.850, followed by Olivia Troutman, who went 9.825. Waiting for the Jordan Bowers score to come in. Faith has a season high of a 9.975. Just a freshman, and she became just the 10th gymnast named to the Big 12 Newcomer of the Year. She did a remarkable job in the semifinal, went 9.925. Those last-minute instructions, last-minute reminders from head coach KJ Kindler. Oklahoma has won 5 out of the last 8 championships. They've been very, very dominant in recent years, looking to hopefully repeat. They would love nothing more, but they've got to get through this beam rotation here to do it. And finally, Oklahoma breaking into that 9.9 threshold. Jordan Bowers score is in. It's a 9.925. Even with the little balance check, her routines, I guess, was just very clean. Called a wolf jump that she did, just a single dance skill, side aerial, layout. She's got a really good pace, a good flow to how she works the beam. You can tell she's very comfortable up there. She's one of those athletes that works balance beam as if she's on the floor. Makes it look very, very easy. Switch leap, straddle jump. Gets that 180-degree position on those leaps. Just the dismount. 1.5. Doesn't get the dismount. Hop forward. Again, Oklahoma, these teams are so close. Oklahoma giving some tenths away here and there. We're used to seeing them stick, and then the next sticks, and the next sticks. So those stuck landings, we talk about getting 4 in a rotation. If they can get that, the coaches usually feel like they've given themselves a chance. So still 2 athletes left in this Florida beam lineup. Next will be Audrey Davis, who is stunning on the balance beam. Audrey, a junior, she's competed in every meet on the balance beam. She's got a season high of a 9.95 and went 9.8625 in the semifinal. So again, lots of room to improve. If she can get through this beam routine without any major deductions and be clean, she can score big. Again, only 1 score so far in that 9.9 range for Oklahoma in this rotation. That was just from Jordan Bowers, 9.9125, waiting for the score for Faith Torres. And one of the things that's interesting about Oklahoma is when you talk to them, they talk about how their best scores for them have come on the road. So this is a team that is very much comfortable competing on the road. That's when they get their biggest scores, which is pretty significant. Faith Torres in that 9.9 range, right on the dot, 9.9 for Faith. So a good, solid score. Audrey is just exquisite on this event. She displays all of her strengths throughout the dance, the movements, the connections, the composition of this routine is great. There's that required full turn. Flight series, back handspring layout. Good connection, good form. Nice and square right over the top, no problem. Front aerial. And this is a good routine. She looks so comfortable up there. Beat jump, split with a cat. Actually leaves, her eyes leave the beam. She flicks her head back, and sometimes I think that's such a risk, but she does it so well. Just the dismount, double twist, and she nailed it. That is exactly what this Oklahoma beam lineup needed from Audrey Davis, and she just delivered. Big reaction from KJ Kindler. Her teammates know that it was a good one, and joining me is Bridget Sloan. Bridget, welcome in. Oklahoma on beam. They didn't start off as strong as they did in the semi. They accomplished what we talked about is so important with a 9.9 in the semi, but only 9.85. Nothing major, no falls, but just some little balance checks, some nerves, I think, maybe creeping in. But the last 3 competitors have been lights out.
Well, Ashley, you and I know better than most how nerve-wracking balance beam is, especially when you know what's on the line. I mean, these athletes, they're not competing here to get second place. They are competing to win that NCAA championship. Oklahoma with such a strong beam performance. Ultimately, these are great scores. Do not get us wrong, but if they want to capture that NCAA title, the last 2 performers have to be nearly perfect. And Audrey Davis, from what I saw, was almost that.
Her routine was flawless. It was beautiful. She didn't have really any noticeable bobbles. Her positions were good. Her connections were good. I think she does a really good job of composition of the routine, from the dance to everything.
Well, and it looks like coming after Faith with the 9.9, and Audrey, she was set up for a big one along with Jordan Bowers, the 9.9125. Again, not hitting the huge 9.95 that we're used to, but still, those scores are building, and you know, head coach KJ Kindler, she strategically built this lineup because ending with no other than Reagan Smith, who is used to being in this anchor position and clenching the NCAA
right.
title last year.
It came down to her beam routine, and she was spectacular. She's no stranger to being in this situation. She can score high. I mean, season high for her is a perfect 10, and the score in for Audrey Davis, 9.95, exactly the setup Reagan needed.
Senior Reagan Smith coming back for her 5th year. So Sooner fans, don't worry. She's coming right back for next year.
So crucial. Back handspring layout. Nice. Again, this is the athlete that you want in this situation, because guess what? Like we said, she's been here before. Beautiful front aerial.
She moves with such purpose on balance, being very fluid with her movements.
Wow. Only back handspring swing down. A lot of athletes would rather not do that move, but she's square on every single time, no problem.
I can't say that I've ever done a back handspring swing down, but if I did, I would hope that it would look like Reagan Smith's, yes. Because she, like you said, Ashley, always square. In this dismount, the height, the lift.
Oh, I'm telling you, they've given away just a little bit here and there. That was the only thing, that hop forward. So again, we'll have to wait to see what the judges do with that. But overall, Oklahoma, very good showing on the balance beam.
She fought for it. Yep. Don't get me wrong. She fought for that landing. She knew what was at stake, and they are headed to floor, which is a great event for them.
So if you want to make sure you keep up with Florida, if they are your team, you can see every one of their floor routines. Just switch over to the floor stream with John Roethlisberger. He'll be covering Oklahoma in the 4th and final rotation. Oklahoma in a great spot right now. They have a good opportunity on an event where they're so strong. And they really, those last 4 performers for them, Jordan Bowers, 9.9125, Faith, 9.9, Audrey Davis, huge, 9.95. And I think Reagan Smith's score is going to be another solid score that's going to put them in a great position. And next up in the 4th rotation is going to be, of course, the #1 ranked team in the country on the balance beam. And it's a 9.9 for Reagan Smith, 49.5125 for Oklahoma on the balance beam. Good showing. Make sure you join us in the 4th and final rotation that will decide the national champion. We'll see Utah. And welcome back to the 4th and final rotation here at the NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championship. I'm Ashley Miles-Grieg. So happy to be here on the balance beam. I'm your analyst, gonna bring you every single remaining routine from Utah. Utah currently sitting in the 3rd position behind Florida, who is in 2nd, and LSU, who has a pretty commanding lead. A lot of ground to make up, but if I'm Utah, if I'm rooting for Utah, if I'm a Utah fan, this is the event that I would want my team to end the event on. Utah is the #1 ranked team in the country on the balance beam. And they're so strong on this event. They have the highest score in the semifinal coming in. And you kind of feel like they need a little bit of help with the separation between 1st and 3rd. They probably need a little bit of help from either Florida or Oklahoma. But if nothing else, they need to go out and put it all on the line. 3 of the athletes have scored a 10 this season. Miley O'Keefe scored a 10 in the semifinal, which was her 5th perfect 10 on the balance beam this season. 5 perfect scores in one season. So if any team can get it done and leave nothing out there, it's Utah on the balance beam. Utah, of course, the only team in the nation to qualify for all 47 national championships. But of course, they're in the record books with 9. The last one, though, in 1995, 28 years ago. They were hoping that 29th year could be the charm. Amelie Morgan is their leadoff on this event. Very unique way to mount the balance beam. Right into her triple flight series, back handspring layout. Finessed all the way through that triple flight series. Good position on those. She definitely hit that 180-degree position and then some on those. Again, we talk about so much how important that leadoff spot is on every event, especially the balance beam, because that sets the tone. If they can get off to a 9-9 or better in the leadoff spot, that puts the pressure on the judges for those scores to rise, because each one of these routines from Utah gets better. A gainer front full layout forward as a dismount and nails it. She does not move. Stick landings so important, and Amelie Morgan does a remarkable job for Utah in that leadoff spot again. That was the biggest question coming into the final for Utah, who was so strong in the semi, had the highest qualifying score to get here. Everyone with the talk was, can they do it again? Can they have a repeat performance of what they did in the semifinal? Putting their best effort up right now. Abby Paulson will be next for Utah on beam in the second spot. She's a sophomore from Bristol, England. Lots of international experience, exactly who you would want in this position. Utah anxiously awaiting, see what that number for Amelie is gonna be. The key for Utah right now, again, there's a pretty big gap. There's a lot to make up for. The key for them is just to stay grounded, stay focused, and try to execute the way that they've done this entire season. They are not ranked #1 on this event for no reason. Utah has not scored below a 49.4 on the balance beam this entire year. Abby Paulson. Score is in for Amelie Morgan, 9.9125. Flawless flight series, side aerial, back layout. Good connection there. She really was quick with it. No question whether she got it. Good position, good amplitude as well on that leap combination. Here's that required full turn. Good plie, nice position as well. Side aerial, 1.5. That's stuck landing #2 in this lineup. Abby Paulson doing the best job she could do on that beam routine in the second spot. Again, would love to see these scores continue to rise, and if a team can do it, it's Utah. They are spectacular on this event. 9.9125 from Amelie Morgan, in that first spot, and I'm guessing that's going to be another big number from Abby Paulson in the second spot. Lots of energy in this arena right now in this fourth rotation with other teams closing out their events. They know it's close. Utah knows it's close. They're so good on beam. Kara Eaker, one of the 3 in this lineup that has scored perfect this season. So 3 athletes have the ability for a perfect score, waiting for the score for Abby Paulson to come in. And I think it's going to be a big one just based on the reaction from her teammates. They know every 10th counts. Nice breath, staying calm. Again, if you want to see an athlete in a situation where they have to have nerves of steel, this is it. 4th rotation, national championship on the line. You want to give your team a chance, and you're on the balance beam. This is Kara Eaker. Unbelievable, unbelievable, beautiful gymnastics from Kara. She's so great to watch on this event. Nice full turn. She's one of those athletes that you almost wish you could just give her extra 10th because you appreciate her gymnastics and the way she executes it. Everything on point for this routine so far. Side aerial to back layout in combination. Nice smile. Her transitions and how she just moves this routine, the level changes, going up, down. That right there, her routine is one that some athletes couldn't even do on the floor. She makes these moves, these dance moves and these transitions and the level changes going up and down look so easy, but it's so intricate. This is a great routine. Gainer full off the side, and that's a college stick. She did not move, but it wasn't quite controlled. It's up to the judges whether or not they'll take that, but in that second spot, Abby Paulson just went 9.9625. That means some judges gave her a 10 for sure with that score. I mean, couldn't ask for a better opportunity, and if these scores could continue to rise, that could be the best Utah could hope for, where every 10th matters so much right now. Utah on edge, just so impressed with this team and how they're executing throughout this entire postseason. Giving themselves an opportunity, fighting for every 10th. Crystal Issa will be next in the 4th spot for Utah on the balance beam. Bit of a conference there before her routine. Again, 6 athletes go up. Only the top 5 scores count to make up the team score. So there is some room in there. But with the scoring potential of the latter part, really this entire Utah beam lineup, they want to have every athlete hit to maximize that scoring potential. Lots of energy in this place, lots and lots of other teams making their way through their rotation on the balance beam. Again, so important for them to stay focused in the moment. So far, so good. Crystal Issa off on the balance beam, needs to have a great routine here to give Utah a chance, and they may even need a little bit of help. That handspring, layout, triple flight series. No issues for Crystal on that. She's so good on this event. Again, she is one of 3 athletes in this lineup that has scored a perfect 10 on the balance beam this season. Feet jump, straddle quarter. Crystal's routine's so fun, really shows some of her personality. Can let loose on this, just a dismount and sticks it. No movement, immediate emotions. These athletes put so much in to these performances. Emotional, knowing that she did such a good job. She is a 5th-year senior, of course, so that likely her last college routine. That's why you see the immediate emotions there from her, hugs all the way around. These are the moments that mean so much to these athletes. And imagine the extra pressure that can be apparent if you let it affect you. They're so strong mentally, knowing that you're on beam, championships on the line. You want to help your team, and this is your last routine ever. Wow. Score for Kara Eaker, 9.9125. So again, another big score for Utah. They started off in that 9.9 range, and they're just continuing on that trajectory. No surprise there, though. They're so strong on this event. Miley O'Keefe next in that 4th spot. She really needs no introduction. She is the beam queen as of the semifinal on Thursday. 5 times this season that she's been perfect on this event. Score in for Crystal Issa, a 9.95. Utah leaving it all out. Leaving it all out on the floor. 2 athletes left to go. Miley O'Keefe, followed by Grace McCollum. So amazing watching these athletes in these high-pressure situations. Of course, balance beam, one of the most nerve-wracking events in sports. And Miley O'Keefe, a huge opportunity here. Miley's so deliberate, so precise with how she executes each skill. Side aerial, back layout. So fluid how she moves through this routine. And I've got Bridget Sloan joining me, just finished up the bar rotation. And Utah doing exactly what Utah has been doing this entire season on beam. Don't know if it's going to be enough, but my goodness, they are killing it over here.
Utah is phenomenal, as we know, on beam. Florida on bars was lights out. I mean, we knew it was going to be difficult to claim that NCAA championship title. And Miley O'Keefe, who is, she is good on this event.
Just a dismount and sticks it. I mean, again, she's proven time and time again that that routine is perfect. Now we'll have to wait and see if the judges agree. I don't know if there's ever been an athlete that has scored 6 perfect 10s in one season on the same event. I know it will be a record for Utah. Miley O'Keefe, I mean, just beautiful.
Outstanding athlete and just a really wonderful leader for that Utah team. Took the all-around title on Thursday, had a perfect 10 on balance beam.
Yeah, just remarkable to watch them perform and shine in these pressure situations. Big cheers in the arena. These other teams are lights out. Those cheering definitely coming from Oklahoma over on the floor exercise.
But Ashley, the meet is not over yet for Utah.
It's not over yet. We still have Grace McCallum, who we saw with the emotions in the semifinal when she landed on bars. Such a special moment. She's worked so hard to get back and battle through those injuries to be able to contribute to the postseason scores for Utah. And it's been so much fun to watch.
She is an athlete who is capable of a huge score, especially in a pressure situation. If you are ending on balance beam and you are in a high pressure, you want Grace McCallum.
Yes, all the experience in the world, international competition. And guess what? In the middle of this double wolf turn, excuse me, triple wolf turn, and then she does the double. I was a little ahead of her there. Sorry, Grace. I'm with you now. But Miley O'Keefe, another 10. She went perfect 10. That's 6 10s on balance beam for the 2023 season. That's amazing.
Grace, acro series here.
Back handspring layout. Flawless.
So fluid. She makes gymnastics just look so easy, so effortless.
She does, and this is the last routine in this final rotation of all the other teams. They're done, so it's all Grace right now on the balance beam. And Bridget, just the dismount left here. Gainer tuck full off the back, slight hop forward.
You know she wanted to stick it, couldn't hang on to it, but ultimately what a performance. Getting her back in the lineup, having that knee injury early on in the season, it has been so crucial to have her here today.
So big. And that's going to conclude it for rotation 4. Utah, the #1 team, has an amazing, amazing beam performance, but unfortunately not gonna be enough. Oklahoma has clinched the national title this year, but Utah, great showing here. So much confidence. And this beam rotation is going to be one for the ages once this final score is put up. So far, they'd be dropping a 9.9125. As we wait for Grace McCallum's final score to come in.